Alright, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is. We are live in full effect worldwide on the airwaves, and we got the one, the only, the queen of the underground. We got Lady Boss right here on the line. How are you doing this evening?
What's up, y'all? How's everybody?
I'm doing pretty good. I hope you're doing well out on your end as well. 2020 is not treating us very good then.
Definitely ain't, but we got good news. The president is them. We got the president.
I heard about that. I gotta say, way to go, America. Because I'm gonna be honest, even us Canadians, we didn't even like Donald Trump. So we agree with you on that right there.
Wow. So y'all don't get the same like president we get over here?
No, we have a prime minister. So our guy, it's called Parliament down here. So we have a prime minister, and his name is Justin Trudeau. And he, in my personal opinion, he's not any better than Donald Trump. So it's like that's why I'm saying congratulations to you guys. You guys most definitely got a W on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But God, start bringing you right back to the beginning. Like, what made you actually decide to get into the music industry initially?
Since age 11, I always wanted to rap. I came out the womb making music. I said, as far back as I remember, I've just been writing songs since age 11, basically. It's just sort of in me.
And also, I read as well that at age 10, you actually completed your very first song called Knowledge is Power. I have to ask you, if you can remember, can you tell us a bit more about that song? And did you ever actually take the words off the paper and actually put it into a song at that age?
Yeah, I'm listening to Queen Latifah for that Unity song. It took me somewhere else, and that's when I came up with the title Knowledge is Power. Because I was always on the political side of things for making music, and that just stuck with me. So age 10, then 11, I got the karaoke machine from my mom, and I just started going.
And I gotta say, that's actually such a powerful name for a song for a 10-year-old. That's actually amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
And also, in January 2004, you actually released your very first mixtape entitled Real Boss Talk. I have to ask you, is that a mixtape still available on the internet to be listened to today? And of course, what's the story behind it?
I tried searching for it. It's no longer available, but I do have like a copy in order, like if I want to put it back out there. But I still have like so many copies. It's crazy that mixtape I put out.
And also, as well, like one thing I noticed when it comes to mixtapes that unfortunately a lot of the sites are being taken down nowadays. I remember back in like the early mid 2000s, you know what I mean? Like mixtapes were popping, like they had tons of sites. Now it's really hard to actually find one.
Right, right. But now they utilizing YouTube. That's very big on the if you can get a mixtape on SoundCloud. Which I do have a mixtape out. It's called I Am People. Hosted by DJ Difference. So it's on YouTube and SoundCloud.
And also, I saw a post on your Facebook that you were actually shooting scenes for Legend of a Thunder Bully. I have to ask you, tell us a bit more about that. And of course, where can our listeners actually check that out?
They're still working on the director. So I'm done shooting my scene. It's called Legend of the Thunder Bully. It's a spin-off from Jackass. I think it's going to be very funny. It's entertaining and it's hard-hitting, and it's just going to be entertained throughout the whole movie.
So when you say, sorry for, did you actually say it's kind of like a spin-off of Jackass?
Yeah, it's like it got that whole feel to it. Like it's all funny, it's all hard-hitting, and we just had fun on the scenes on the set.
That's actually really cool. Do you guys do like stunts on it and whatnot as well? Like, and if so, what's one of the craziest stunts that you've actually seen so far on set?
I think one of the guys he actually did something with the fire, and it blew through the air, and it was just like so funny because he didn't mean to do it. But when you guys see this movie, you're gonna be thrilled, you're gonna be enlightened, and it's just like it's funny. It's aside from like the society and it's just giving the world something different.
And I'm gonna have to say, I'm actually intrigued on that already. Personally, myself, I grew up watching Jackass and Viva La Bam, so the fact that individuals like yourselves are kind of giving us a little spin off of that, you know what I mean? I think it's actually gonna be really good.
Right, it is definitely.
And also, you have an album out called I Am Music, hosted by DJ Difference. I have to ask you, where can our listeners actually grab themselves a copy of that album? And of course, how did yourself and DJ Difference actually get connected?
I know DJ Difference from back in the day, and I reached out to him not too long ago and asked him can he host my mixtape, and he was all for it. The mixtape is on YouTube. It's called I Am Music, and also SoundCloud. And you guys can go get onto either one of those sites.
And I have to ask you, do you have any like hard copies of I Am Music actually? Because I know some people really do love the CD format, but I do know this day and age, not a lot of artists are really producing those CDs.
Yeah, you're talking to one that wants to still do CDs, but I was told like they not CDs are not in anymore. Everybody's online, so hard copies would be in question for me right now. But I wouldn't mind like putting some out. But everything is online. It's YouTube and SoundCloud right now for the mixtape, and so is the single.
And speaking of that single, it's actually called "Dope." Do our people equal? I have to ask you, what? That's such a powerful, powerful song. And what's the story behind that single? And of course, like, is that single actually available on Spotify and all those digital streaming platforms?
Sure is. It's Dope is an acronym, and it says "Do our people equal?" Like you stated, and it's available on all music platforms, all the digital platforms. I mean, it's real political.
And also, that same song was actually featured in an ad for a winter coat drive in Illinois. I have to ask you, how does it feel to know that your song was actually featured in that ad?
Oh man, when I first seen it, it came through my email. Shout out to Ricky Shay. She's doing her thing over there in Illinois. She's a female rapper as well, and she told me, she said, "Lady Boss, we got your song in the coat drive. Your music is in it." I said, "You sure?" She said, "Yeah." And my heart just dropped because to know that people are doing their song and they actually want to put it in like certain things that they got going on. That's just love. It just touched me somewhere else.
And like I said, I believe you're a Philly artist, correct? Just to make sure.
Yeah, I'm from Philly. Yeah.
So actually, just having your music in an Illinois winter coat drive is actually phenomenal. Like, did anybody else other than yourself actually check out that commercial out in Philly, and they kind of like be like, hey, Lady B, like we saw you on TV or heard you on TV. Sorry.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I was gonna say, like, did anybody out in Philly ever like walk up to you and be like, hey, we heard you on TV?
Yeah, I get a couple of that, like, every so often somebody says, I had your old mixtape from back in the day, and they still holding on to it, but, yeah, I get a couple of those when I'm out in the streets.
And also, when we're still kind of on the topic of coats, you also have T-shirts available, Lady Boss T-shirts. I have to ask you, where can our listeners actually buy themselves some of your merchandise?
It's going to be on my website real soon. That's where everybody can go grab it at, yeah.
Also, on October 24th, you were actually you were part of the Superstar Saturdays Philly Best of the Best All Star National Weekend. I have to ask you, of course, COVID-19 permitting, what was that experience like for you? And of course, like, is that something you think you'd be interested in doing again in the future?
Definitely something I'll be interested in doing, and I will be doing, touching the stage again. That just to get on stage is always mind blowing. The butterflies always sit in, but once I'm on stage, I'm just going in.
And one thing I do want to ask you, because like obviously like I'm just a DJ, so I just spin the records. But obviously you did shows before COVID-19, and now there's COVID-19 going on. Is it harder to actually perform and do what you're supposed to do on the stage with COVID-19 going on? Like how are you guys adapting with actually those concerts?
And it's so hard because, like you said, COVID-19 is in the play, and you try to be safe. But at the same time, you know that you got to get on stage and get the people what they want and what they came to say.
And most definitely, you know what? And I gotta say, I gotta commend artists like yourselves as well, because a lot of individuals are going crazy nowadays. You know what I mean? There's not very much to do. Everybody's lives are turned upside down. So, but it's artists like you that actually still hit the stage and take us fans away from all this COVID-19 crap for a few hours. So I gotta commend you and say thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I have to ask you, Lady Boss, what's next for you? Is there anything else like happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to promote? We still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
The video for the single is available on YouTube. I'm just working. I'm just working and doing a lot of interviews and stuff. So yeah.
And this is the time in the interview there, Lady Boss, that I give a chance for the individual that comes on the radio station, just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, and of course your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on all things Lady Boss if they're not already doing so.
First and foremost, shout out to Canada. Shout out to y'all for having me. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to the little team that I do have behind me, the PRs that's in place. All the radio stations that have been playing the song, dope, and just everybody, like.
And if you don't mind me asking, Lady Boss, where can our listeners actually follow you? Like, what are your social media handles?
I'm sorry. Follow me on our Facebook, Lady Balls, space Balls with a Lady Balls, one word, and balls behind it. Instagram at 215 Lady B, and Twitter at PA Lady Balls. And for my email address is bookladyballs@gmail.com.
And I gotta say, Lady Boss, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening and coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. I hope you have a wonderful night, and most definitely stay safe out there out in Philly.